Would I recommend full-time entrepreneurship? Of course I would. Right now I'd probably give it maybe like a 3.5 star because back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Ashley Goode. I'm a purpose coach and a brand strategist. I help women package their purpose into marketable brands on social media, and I'm also trying this YouTube thing, so I consider this my first like official video in a while, outside of like my formal teaching videos. I wanted to start documenting my journey of entrepreneurship. Excuse the background because I'm outside on my patio, so y'all might hear some nature and some other stuff. I quit my job July 22nd. This almost 2 weeks since I've been a full-time entrepreneur. And I wanted to show you guys my journey, walk you through what I've learned, because I think a lot of times entrepreneurship is like glamorized on social media. You only see like the beautiful things, the reels, the highlights on social media instead of the actual struggles that people go through. So I want to keep it real with y'all, share my experience, the highs, the lows, the challenges, what I've learned. So today we're really going to talk about my first week in entrepreneurship. Since it has been 2 weeks, I'm probably going to do it on like a weekly, bi-weekly basis, so y'all can kind of keep up with my journey. So let's rewind. So I've been working in my job for at least, getting used to not saying work, but I was at my job for at least, I was at the company for almost 3 years. It was a very stressful job. In the beginning, I really enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know, I worked in property management, so I worked in the leasing office of an apartment complex. And I won't disclose the company just because I want to keep those things private. However, when I started, I had just moved from LA in 2017. You might know my story. I moved across to LA from Virginia, where I used to live, to get into the fashion world. Quickly I realized it's not where I wanted to be, so I moved back to Charlotte, where my now wife is, and I kind of dibbled and dabbled in fashion, realized I wanted a new career, and I ended up working in property management. So I was excited. It was fun the first few years, but after working at my first property and going to another property, I realized this ain't it. My goal was always to be a full-time entrepreneur, but I didn't know what it looked like because I was still in the hustle mentality of having a main job to supplement my side hustle. And I really didn't think that being a full-time entrepreneur could really be reality for me. And I really didn't start getting serious with it until since the past year, actually, when COVID happened. And I was starting to see, you know, everybody just like making all this income for themselves because a lot of people were out of work. And I was like, you know what? I could do that too. So I really didn't start getting real until like February, because I was like, all right, let me set a date. My date was September, but come to find out God had other plans, and here I am. July 7th I gave my notice, and July 22nd I left my job. And I'm so excited because it was something that was very stressful, very overwhelming, and me making this transition has been so pivotal in my peace and my joy, and it allowed me to experience life and experience freedom, and really understanding that I can create a life that I can love, make money off of what I love to do, and really help people on a high level. So since then, since July 22nd, it has really been a big shift. I've been really trying to figure out a routine, because I was used to, you know, getting up early in the morning around like 8ish, going to work. My job hours were from like 9 to 6, so I was so used to working all day, 40-hour work weeks, and then having maybe like 4 or 5 hours to figure out how I'm gonna get my job, how I'm gonna work on my business and stuff like that. So now that I have 24 hours in a day, I'm learning, you know, what times are best for me to be most productive, how long do I want to work on things, you know, how to start my day so I don't just wake up and do business, because I used to do that previously. I was like, okay, I have before work and after work to work on my business. So as soon as I got up, I worked on my business. So I really wanted to be intentional about starting my day with peace, with an open mind, so I'm not thinking about my business all day. Because when you work a 9 to 5, your mind is stuck in 9 to 5 mode, and so there's sometimes where all you think about is your business. For me, my business was my happy place at work, at the time, so that's all I thought about. So now that I'm finally doing what I've set out to do, it's kind of hard to figure out, okay, what we finna do next? Like, what am I thinking about? It's not always going to be about business. Now I have to find a balance between life, business, and really start paying attention to what makes me happy and what helps me experience peace, so I'm not overwhelmed with constantly thinking about the next business move. So really trying to find a balance, what we consider a work-life balance. Guys, Ashley from the future here. I had a question for you guys. What helps you create a work-life balance and kind of bring you peace? Definitely drop it in the comments below. Also be sure to comment, subscribe, like, pass it on to your sisters and your girlfriends. All right, now back to the video. I've really been also intentional about time management, because when you're an entrepreneur, yes, you make your own schedule, all that stuff that they talk about, but you don't want to. For me, I'm all about planning, time blocks, everything like that. It could become a really obsessive, but I wanted to make it to the point where it does still give me some flexibility, because I'm the type of person, if I don't have any structure, I'm going to be like either super lazy and unproductive, or super productive and not making time for myself. So I started off trying to wake up at maybe 8 o'clock and kind of laying in bed for a little bit, praying, you know, thanking God for my day, breathing a little bit, stretching, and then getting ready to start my business. I realized that didn't work, because when I did that, I didn't have any energy to work on my business. Why? Because your girl didn't eat. And I'm the type of person, honestly, I don't like breakfast early in the morning, because I just don't like to think about eating so early. I really get hungry around like 9 or 10ish. So I was like, all right, let me try something different. So the next day I was like, okay, maybe if I get up at 8, you know, relax, meditate, whatever, come out here on the porch and just reflect. I started trying to implement journaling into my day. I can really start prepping my mind for the day, gaining clarity, so I'm not waking up, hopping on my phone, waking up just going to start my business, because that's going to be like, it'll be stressful. So I tried that. That worked pretty nicely. That gave me the ability to wake up, eat, and then start to work, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. And being in a 9-to-5, you have that. For me, the area that I worked in, it was a really rush mentality. You really didn't have time to stop and think about yourself, think about your needs. It was always go, go, go. Super anxiety, thinking about, oh my God, like there's deadlines I have to make. So coming from that, I really have to shift my mindset from 9-to-5 to entrepreneur, because it's just like, all right, I'm used to structure, now I have to create my own structure. I'm also used to being on edge all the time, so now I have to figure out how not to be on edge, how not to scramble and feel like I have to get something done. So for me to start my day with peace of mind, clarity, and intention instead of my goals for the day, that allowed me to start with solitude, no anxiety, no anything. I also love it because it allowed me to set time for when I do my business, still giving me flexibility. For me, my goal is to work only 3 days a week for 4 hours, and that allowed me to, not saying I can't work outside of 4 hours. If I did have a project, I would say, okay, I'm giving myself the morning to get this done, but allowed me to set time for business and do what I want for the rest of the day, whether that's spending time with my wife, reading a book, whether I need to get the house together, get groceries, whatever the case is, so I can be intentional. And when that happened, I was sitting out, when I was done with my business, I was like, all right, so what am I going to do? Like, I did this stuff in the morning, I worked on my business, but what do I do now? So now I'm finding time for myself and really having to go back to the importance of self-care. Like, what does Ashley like to do? So I started reading again. I started binging Sister, oddly, on Netflix. I haven't seen that since I was like in high school, and I fell in love with the show all over again. So that's something that I've done. So my advice for those of you who are getting ready to quit your job, looking to quit your job, wait, hold on, this is crooked. You're looking to quit your job, no matter where you're at, whether you just put in your 2 weeks, you're thinking about it, haven't set a date, or you're dreaming about that day, I would say a good way to prepare is to start practicing time management now, because when you are able to master time management when you're working a full-time job, maybe you also have kids or other responsibilities and fit in time for your business, if you can master that, going into full-time entrepreneurship, I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk, but it's going to be easy when it comes to time management because you're so used to it. And you'll be able to get things done in a timely manner, schedule your days properly so you have more time for the things that you actually want to do and enjoy in life. For me, I wasn't really consistent when it came to that. It's something I really struggled with while I was working my job, so now it is a lesson that I have to learn now. Also, the things I like to do is, that did kind of help, is I usually did my business on the weekend, so I would kind of wake up as if I'm working a full-time as if I am already a full-time entrepreneur. So I was like, okay, I'll get up at 9, kind of what I was telling you guys, and I'll try to structure my day as if this was a normal working day as a full-time entrepreneur. So practice makes perfect. So if you are currently not there yet, or you're preparing to take that leap, start practicing time management. Have a day where you have a day off, maybe you don't have time to work for your business, and kind of structure it how you would if you worked for yourself full-time. Would I recommend full-time entrepreneurship? Of course I would. For me right now, I'd probably give it maybe like a 3.5 star because I'm still struggling a little bit with consistency from my own experience. But the more and more that I continue to strive at creating this structure for myself, and finding time for myself and doing the things that I love and getting back to, you know, enjoying life and spending time with my friends and family and stuff like that, kind of finding that balance, it'll eventually be a 5-star experience. No matter what, there's going to be challenges, but I would recommend, if this is something that you want to do, you're passionate about, definitely take that leap. Start planning on how you're going to do it, set a date, and go for it. If you guys would like to, let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how I actually plan to take that leap, and I can kind of go a little bit more in depth. But I thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to continuing sharing my journey with you. If you guys have any ideas of any videos or topics you want me to discuss, whether it be regarding entrepreneurship, you know, my marketing tips, branding, anything like that, just let me know. And I'll see you guys on the next video.